Hello, Golden Shower TV. I am Chris, and this is Nirvana. Just something I remember from a video I watched years ago. Anyways, I am back with a regular pop culture update, whatever you want to call it. I've been up to some stuff lately, and let's get started. First up is a book I recently finished, third and last in the Stormrunner series called The Shadow Crosser. And in this book, Zane Obispo, the hero of this series, him and his friends are getting ready to go to a place called Sheholm, which is a kind of a training grounds for the Godborns. But before he can go there, he has to find the last Godborn that doesn't know about their godly lineage and their powers. And there's a demon helping him out with it, which he doesn't know if he can trust or not. But they find the last Godborn, and it turns out there's two of them because they're twins, a boy and a girl. And eventually he talks them around, uncovers their power, but he gets betrayed by this demon that was helping him. But anyways, they bring the Godborns in safely. But during this fracas, it's revealed that there's trouble coming. So they get to Sheholm and are told... there's a god of the Mayan calendar, I forget his name, that the gods have been captured by Camazotz, the bat god, and Ixkik or something like that, the blood moon god, something like that. I can't keep them all straight, but they have captured the Mayan gods, and so their gods are no longer around. So it's up to the Godborns to reclaim the gods, bring them back, restore everything to normal. But they're up against the wall on this one because they have no godly help and stuff like that, or very little, anyways. So they have to fight back against these demons and do it quickly, as the god tree. Or whatever it is the lights are fading on it, so that means the gods are disappearing. And eventually they ferret out that it's not even like the gods are being hidden in a normal place. They've been hidden back in time in 1987. So they have to find a way to manipulate and time travel using the Mayan calendar to go back to 1987, rescue the gods, bring them back, and restore everything to order. So it's just a big final hurrah in order to do that. So it's Zane, Ren, Brooks, Quinn, Zane's uncle Hondo, all teaming together, and the two new Godborns, of course, teaming together to get this job done. And whether they get it done or not, you'll have to read the book. Next up, finally got around to watching Birds of Prey, which was a friggin' awesome movie. So in this movie, Joker has just recently broken up with Harley Quinn, and she is beside herself that her Mr. J has let her go. So she's compensating for the breakup with, tending to her violent ways. She buys a hyena that she names Bruce Wayne. She takes up roller derby and loves smashing people in roller derby. And finally she announces publicly that her and Joker have broken up by destroying Ace Chemicals, where apparently it all began. So there's a number of people interested in this development. Renee, a cop with the Gotham City Police Department, sees it as open season on Harley. She should be easier to get to and bring her in. Roman Sionis, who played by Ewan McGregor, which was an awesome role for him as kind of more of a villain, is a crime boss that has had to put up with Harley's bullshit just because of the protection of the Joker. But now he finds out she's no longer with him and he can go after her, so he's kind of going after her. And then there's some other factors in play. There's a singer that works for Roman at his nightclub who gets along with Harley in a kind of weird way. And then there's also this crossbow killer on the loose that is causing havoc. So there's all these factors going on. And Roman is after wanting to get vengeance against Harley. He's also working on another front where there's the Bertinelli massacre. This really rich family was killed years ago. And in their possession was a diamond that would lead them, whoever owns it, to the combination to their safe or whatever that had all their riches in it. So he's after this diamond, but the diamond ends up it gets freed, but it gets nabbed by this young pickpocket that has befriended Harley Quinn. So eventually, once Roman brings Harley Quinn in and is ready to kill her, she's like, "Oh, I can get the diamond for you. I know where it is, right?" So then he kind of lets her go on a bit of a leash to get the diamond back from young Cassie, who Harley intends to betray. But in the end, a big culmination of events happens in a kind of final shootout at this rundown carnival in the funhouse or whatever, where Roman and all of his gang members descend on Harley's location, and events lead. Roman's lounge singer Dina, who we end up is revealed as she's Black Canary. The crossbow killer shows up, who is dubbed the Huntress, and then Renee, the cop, also shows up at the scene, intending to take Harley in. But these women and young Cassie, the pickpocket, these young women all have to band together and put their differences aside in order to fend off Roman and all of his goons, and in the end form kind of a bond, sort of thing. So it was a really fun, colorful, bizarre, funny, action-packed kind of movie, and it was all about the feminism and these birds of prey striking back against Roman and his gangs, but it wasn't like shoved down your throat feminism. Some movies are just like girl power, girl power, girl power, right? And it's just like, okay, enough, we get it, women are strong and everything, and I'm watching this, right? But this was just like, it didn't do any of that. It just was girl power, but in a fun, not shoving it down your throat kind of way, right? Which I loved. And Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, she's just so good, right? And I really liked Ewan McGregor too, because you see Ewan McGregor as always such a good guy in Obi-Wan, right? To see him as a fucking ruthless crime boss, just doing nasty things, cutting people's faces off, right? It's just it was just such a departure for him, and it was awesome. He was really good. Next up, finished a bunch of games recently. PS2, Dukes of Hazzard, Return of the General Lee. This apparently was released to coincide with the Dukes of Hazzard movie a number of years ago with Sean William Scott and those guys, and Jessica Simpson. And in this one, Boss Hogg is trying to shut down an orphanage by raising their mortgage and giving them a deadline. And he plans to build like a dam reservoir on that site, and also using some of the funding to build a statue of himself in the middle of town square. So the Dukes are not about to let this happen. So Bo and Luke use the General Lee to run all sorts of little schemes and foil Boss Hogg at every turn, and eventually get the orphanage out of trouble and back on track, so Boss Hogg can't follow through with these plans. And as you go along, you kind of learn the history of the General Lee, how the Dukes bought it just as a regular old black Dodge Charger and then had to kind of soup it up a bit. That takes place at the start of the game, and it doesn't really go that far, but it's kind of in there at the start. So it's a good game. It's not a great game. It could have used a little extra polish, that sort of thing, but it was a lot of fun, and you don't always just control the Dukes with the General Lee. Sometimes you're driving Cooter's tow truck, or Daisy's, was it Chevelle, or I don't know what it is, or Uncle Jesse's pickup truck. The only thing you don't get to drive is Daisy's white Jeep, which I was really hoping would be in the game, but it wasn't. But overall, it's a really fun adventure, not that long to play through. It can be easy or easier for the most part, but there are some really difficult levels on it. But overall, just a kind of fun kind of overall game, lighthearted and pretty short overall, but given the length or the difficulty of some of the levels, it can take a little longer to play through if you get stuck on something. So, but yeah, good game. Next up, we finally finished our season on NHL 18, won the Stanley Cup, and NHL 18 is the same as 17, and probably we're playing 19 right now. It's very similar. They do little tweaks each year. In this one, you could play with the Vegas Golden Knights. That was the first time they were in the game. There's all sorts of modes. I don't know if they were new for this one, but there's, franchise mode, career mode. You can create your own team and add it to the league, and you can do all the same things like create your own player and stuff. And with each year, they add more and more stuff. There's more and more details you can add to your player, like equipment and all that stuff. So this is just another one of EA's entries in the long-standing NHL series, and they vary with each year. Some you'll like better than the others, but overall, it's the most consistent, outstanding hockey simulator out there by far. So you really can't go wrong with any of the games. Like I said, they change from year to year in little aspects and stuff like that, but yeah, consistent as hell. Next up, Trine 4. My buddy Simon that I play vids with showed me the very first Trine game years ago, and we played it, and it's really, really fun. I don't have any of the other ones. I just picked up Trine 4 because it was released not too long ago, and it was cheap, and I thought, this is a great game. The first one was anyways, so why not take a chance on this? So in a previous game, young Prince Celius was misbehaved and misused his father's spell book to release his shadow, which is evil, and so he was sent to the Astral Academy, where he was hoped to be brought in line, but the wizards there weren't able to contain him, and so he escapes. And in this game, there's three main characters. There's oh god, I forget his name now. There's a wizard, the wizard guy, I forget his name. Then there's Pontius the knight, and then there's Zoya the thief. So these three are the main characters. You're brought in by the Astral Academy to track down Prince Celius, who's caused this massive amount of destruction and chaos through the land. Track him down and bring him back and get him out of this funk that he's in, and deal with this shadow that he's released of himself. So you travel through the land of Trine, and help all the little animal creatures and stuff as you go, and eventually wanting to track Celius down and make things right. And the gameplay is really good. The levels are so colorful and well done. The graphics, the gameplay, everything in this game is amazing. But the most interesting part of Trine is that, yeah, there's a lot of action in it. You fight demons and stuff like that, and werewolves and stuff. But it's really a puzzle game. How do you navigate the land? And each character has their own specialties. The wizard can conjure different items, boxes, balls, planks that you can use to, climb and block things, whatever you have to do. Zoya the thief has ropes and arrows that you can use to attach to things and swing and stuff like that. And her arrows do different things like freeze or burn or whatever. And then Pontius, the knight, has a shield that you can use to reflect things and jump on top of to get more height, that sort of thing. So it's all a matter of figuring out what the next puzzle is, how you get through it in combination with these three characters. And you can switch between them freely, and you can each be the same character at once, right, sort of thing. So it's more of a puzzle game more than an action game, but it does have both elements, and it's excellent. Last up, I wasn't even able to play this, but I thought I'd mention it. Stuntman for PS2, which I'd really wanted to play for a long time, but looking at the disc, I bought it used, and there's kind of a big smudge on it, and I can't get rid of it. So I was able to fire it up the first time, and it looked like it was going to play, but as soon as I went to load the first level, took forever, was just sitting there, and I'm like, I won't really be able to play this one. But the premise is, you're a stuntman, there's movies being shot, you have to show up for your scene, run through the scene exactly as you're supposed to, and pull it off and get a star rating, and make your way through, making the movie and sort of thing, I believe is how it goes. It looked like it was going to be really fun, but I'll never know unless I figure this out. So, but anyways, that is all for this time. I hope you enjoyed. I will be back again in the near future with more. And until then, enjoy the rest of your September and into October. Fall's a-coming.